Well, hey now, everybody. It's the Rob from Kiss 106 and 103GBFRocks.com here with my tag team partner in podcasting, Dude Love himself. I was trying to think of a Mick Foley-inspired gimmick for you because you kind of got that flannel going. Have a nice day. Jerry Valeri. Good morning, Jer.
Bang, bang. Bang, bang.
How you doing today, pal?
I'm doing great. I'm looking at your shirt, and I'd like to pick my trip, and I'd like it to be Evansville, Indiana, if you don't mind.
Oh, well, actually, I'll get after when we're off the air. I may have a way I can see you here this summer.
Oh, good. I like to hear that a lot.
Potentially.
Good. I can't wait to hear that little bit of news. That's a nice little tease.
What's up, man?
Well, lots to get to, but before we get into all the wrestling, if I may, I know that you've got a baby coming and your baby boy, and I want you to know that whatever is deep down inside you, whether you realize it or not, it's hereditary. And for me, it's spitefulness.
I can block. You don't say.
So saltiness is hereditary. My son, listen, last night I lay out his clothes every night. So in the morning, he knows what he's wearing, and it's just easier on my wife. And I laid out a bunch of stuff, and this morning he threw a fit. He didn't want to wear any of it. He wanted to wear black pants and he wanted to wear all black. My wife was, why are you making such a big deal about it? He was like, I just need all black today. I just need it. And so he did. Black sneakers, black socks, black pants.
He's going through his emo phase?
No, he grabbed a White Sox hat with his black, put it on. He needed to be representing in black. And I was like, and my wife told me this, and she said that he got on the bus and it was okay. And she realized
he can wear black if he wants to, I guess.
Right. But he was adamant about it because we found out today is wear your teacher's favorite color to school day.
Aw. That's adorable.
We got a letter from the school saying that all the kids could wear their teacher's favorite color to school if they wanted to. And her favorite color is blue.
So he wanted to get as far from blue as he possibly could?
I'm not participating. He's rolling into school like Johnny Cash, like he's going to a funeral.
The man in black?
Okay.
So there was no way he could be mistaken for participating in... Was the shirt you laid out for him blue?
Yes, it was a Blue Jays shirt. That was an accident because I didn't even think about it. But the outfit that I had laid out for him was all the blue. All the blue. A Blue Jays jersey and a Blue Jays hat. It was all the blue.
Oh, that's so... And that was just a happy accident.
And it was a happy accident, and it would have been perfect. But he knew that today was... he does not get along with his teacher, and he does not care for her at all. And so I can't wait. At the end of the week, she's going to take a picture of all these kids wearing the blue, and she's going to send it in the weekly newsletter email we get. And I'm going to frame the son of a bitch because... Because I don't like her either. I think it's appropriate that he decided to wear a color that matched her soul today.
Oh, so, God. I mean, Jerry, your parenting stories are the funniest, and it's why I have labeled you my parenting inspiration.
I appreciate it. There's always something going on. And then we got home last night from Allison's... She was sick.
We lost your video for some reason.
I'm still here. Can you see me?
I can hear you just fine, but no, we can't see you.
And that sucks.
It's doing the same thing it did that one time where you said everything's going fine. What are you talking about? And then we watched the video back, and you're all
choppy. Well, it looks good on my.
And Kat conducted an interview with Baron Corbin. By the way, you're back now.
Oh, great. Well, let's go back to the interview. Is there anything that you wish you'd asked him that you didn't? Did you like how that interview went? I noticed that he stayed in character more than sometimes they do.
Do you think? I didn't think so.
He felt very kayfabe to me.
I didn't get that vibe. I mean, he said it was at home with his wife and his cats, and I thought just the right amount of kayfabe. You know,
right. I liked the interview.
Look, the presentation to the show used to be I could go a lot longer form with these guys and kind of play a little bit more. And the way the show is kind of going now, we do things a little bit quicker. And, he was on the phone. It's a lot easier when you've got someone like the New Day or Christian here in the studio to kind of get a little more personal. And also, with there's kind of there's a little bit of an accent barrier. Was that fair to say?
There was an accent barrier, but you did a very good job because I had to listen very carefully to get what he's saying, but it's different when you're interviewing them because you've got to listen to them and you've got to pick up everything they say.
Yeah. And you have to be a little more focused when you're focusing on the accent too. So there was that. I mean, I wouldn't say it was as good as my Christian or my New Day ones, but maybe a little better than Chavo Guerrero or.
It was a phoner. Interview, so you got to compare it to other phoners, and I thought it sounded great, buddy.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. And then the house show, I mean, it was a fun time. I went with Steve. I saw Mike out there. I saw a few post-to-post listeners out there.
Joseph was out there. Everyone was out there.
Yeah, I just I thought it wasn't one of the better house shows, and I have a reason for it. I would mention it to Steve a few times, and if I had to have a single solitary complaint about the house show, more than I can ever remember from another house show, the word I would use to describe it would be stalling. Every heel was using stalling tactics, and the action just felt so far between, or like they'd finally get something going, and then the heel would just stop and roll out of the ring, and there was so much stalling. And
I get that. Sometimes it feels like the same agent is booking the same match.
And then I remember specifically thinking this in my head, and then Steve and I were talking about it too because we were next to each other. And so Sami Zayn fought Ricochet, which on paper seems like it'd be top notch, right?
Great match, right?
And same thing with Sami Zayn and Nakamura in NXT. It seems like it should be a great match, and a lot of people loved it. A lot of people said that was a 5-star match. Me, not among them. But remember how the word I used to describe it was disjointed, in that there would be spots and then there'd just be like a pause, and then they just start doing spots again, and then pause, spot, pause. That's what the Ricochet match was with Sami Zayn too.
I think that's the way, though, a lot of that style of wrestling is going. Like, I think we're going to see a lot of that in AEW. Isn't that like an indie style spot fest type stuff?
But I wouldn't say, I would just say disjointed spots. Like if they would have just cut out all the pausing, you would have had an amazing match.
Got it.
You know what I mean? Same thing with the Nakamura Sami Zayn match. If you could just join them together like a train and not break them all apart, you would have a great match. So that was my thought about that. But there were some good matches. I think probably my favorite match was who did Cesaro fight? Why is it escaping me right now? Cesaro had a really solid match. Give me a second. I feel bad now. Why can't I think of who Cesaro fought?
I can't help you here.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm going through my pictures because when I see the pictures, oh no. I feel like an idiot. It was just Sunday.
Does it matter?
Yeah, I mean, I want to give the person some love. Okay, here it is. There's Cesaro.
Samoa Joe?
No, it was Cedric Alexander.
Oh, that's why you forgot.
That's exactly why.
That's why you forgot, buddy. I was waiting for you to say Randy Orton, and I was going to piss my pants.
Unfortunately, this was just one day before the wild card rule went into effect.
Listen, if I could have one single solitary complaint about Raw, it's that you're only letting me have one complaint about Raw.
But you know what? Okay, and I'm glad you have that opinion, because also I want to say, while I have a ton of complaints, I didn't think it was a bad show. But
well, no, because they hotshotted a lot of stuff.
That's what I mean. Like, if you're into excitement, Raw was for you. If you're into continuity and sensibility, Raw was not for you.
Logic and storytelling is kind of why I like to show up to wrestling. And man, they've been bad at that. I mean, here we go. What was the point of the last 3 weeks of the Superstar Shakeup if we're just going to wild card it. By the way, he brings 3 SmackDown stars into the ring and says that he's going to wild card the 3 SmackDown guys. And then Lars Sullivan shows up later making it 4 SmackDown guys. So they didn't even stick to that role.
No, they did explain that.
I missed that day.
Okay, so Lars came out and Corey did acknowledge that he was a SmackDown guy. So then after that segment, I believe they took a commercial break, and then Vince is like talking on a cell phone in the back, and Lars comes up to him and just kind of like, I think he just kind of motioned. I'm not even sure he said anything. And Vince was like, okay, we can have 4 superstar wild cards.
Got it.
So it was acknowledged.
So are they the 4 wild cards permanently?
I don't think. I think it's up to 4, and I think it can change week by week.
Then why have the brand split?
That's what I'm saying, pal.
Why are we still playing with this charade?
Why don't you just dissolve the brand split and then just have guys kind of like who are, more commonly associated with the brand, but don't have to stick to it.
It's just, and I thought we were told there would be no more like authority figures, that they were listening to us. The first 30 minutes was all Vince McMahon. There was no wrestling in the first 30 minutes.
I wasn't dying to get to a lot of last night's wrestling, pal.
I'll tell you, pal. You're absolutely right. I mean,
that first match was long, and when you combine it with the fact that they were all in that opening segment, it felt really long.
They were out there for far too long. Just the whole wild card thing. Yeah. And it overshadowed the stuff that was good. Like, I like seeing Kofi Kingston out there. I love that Daniel Bryan is cleared to wrestle. Great. We're getting that match. Why are we blowing it tonight? Why are you blowing that rematch now?
Yeah, there really was no reason why any of that had to happen last night as opposed to tonight.
You gave us a Drew McIntyre Roman Reigns rematch that nobody asked for. It was one of the most mediocre matches on the WrestleMania card, and you gave it to us.
Yeah, and not only that, you gave us 2 WrestleMania rematches in one night. Like, I mean, it was really exhausting to me.
It smacked of desperation, did it not?
Desperation might not be the first word I'd use, but you're not wrong. The word I would use would just be unprepared.
But how are they unprepared? I mean, they literally have the greatest roster in all professional wrestling. They don't know what to do with it. I don't know how they are unprepared. You have a full week to write these programs. And it's not like...
I thought you were asking me how I would use that word to describe it. You're asking how are they unprepared?
How are they unprepared?
I don't know. But I mean, when you see a guy like Andrade Cien Almas go from SmackDown to Raw one week, and then the next week they undo it and send him back, that shows me that you weren't prepared, right?
They're not ready. They're not crossing their T's or dotting their I's.
They're not prepared. They're just not prepared.
I mean, and they don't know what to do with Braun Strowman right now. I do not want to see Braun Strowman and Sami Zayn feud again. I didn't think that feud was good for Sami Zayn the first time, and you could do so much more with Sami right now based off of the promos he's been cutting. Instead, you just kill him and dump him in a dumpster. Okay.
Yep.
What was the point? What's the point of all the stuff you did with Sami Zayn, building him up to just have Braun Strowman kill him again?
Well, they're building him up in that naggy heel kind of way that I'm not positive being thrown in a trash can will undo.
I know, but I don't want to see him feuding with Braun, and it's not good for either one of them now. They've done that.
I don't even remember much about it, but I don't really care.
The first time I ever saw Braun live was in Indiana, Pennsylvania. And that was one of the big matches was Braun Strowman just kicking the living hell out of Sami Zayn. But the heel face, they were reversed.
Gotcha.
They were reversed.
I would even say, yeah, but I mean, both those guys they feel a little lost in the shuffle right now. And I will tell you this.
And it never stops shuffling.
That's a good point. I thought for sure they were going to take Ricochet out of that match, the ladder match.
So help me God. I was watching TV just thinking, you take him out of this match, and I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to be happy.
But it would have shown. Now they didn't, but it would have shown how unprepared they were, right? But they didn't do that, so we're kind of chastising them for a decision that they didn't make.
Screw them. And then you have Vince McMahon. Can we take the mic from him? I love Mr. McMahon as much as anybody else. I respect that man. He was one of the greatest, the greatest heel of all time. He was great, but he is an older man now, and he sucks on the mic. He's flubbing like you heard him. He says he's explaining it to AJ Styles. He's just standing in the middle of the ring, dumbfounded. We're gonna do 3 guys from Raw and move them to SmackDown, and then we can take 3 guys from SmackDown and move them to SmackDown.
Okay, you're right, but I will give criticism and praise.
Do we need that much McMahon?
He had a bad night, without a doubt. I would say that, though, is uncharacteristic of Vince.
Not the new Vince.
Maybe you're right. And I also agree it's a lot of McMahon's.
I mean, how many feuds is Shane in now?
Oh, just one with Roman Reigns and The Miz and his dad. I mean, yeah, it's messy. It's messy.
It's messy. It's terrible storytelling, and they're not getting rid of the stories I want them to get rid of.
What do you want them to get rid of?
The McMahon stuff.
Fair enough.
Now, why don't we take a quick break to celebrate the city of Evansville?
Yeah, I was so happy to see Micus on TV last night.
Let's talk about the Lucha House Party. I never thought I'd be happy to see a Lucha House Party, but I've been doing this podcast with you long enough, and I feel so connected to Evansville that I knew that was Mike Micus before it was Mike Micus.
Yeah.
Before they told me.
Yeah. Well, they didn't tell us, I don't think, did they?
No, but everybody on Facebook was telling me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Steve gave me a heads up. I was just 4 minutes behind on the show, but I would have definitely, obviously, been able to have recognized him without Steve's heads up. But I thought he did a fantastic job. I mean, that was what he was supposed to do. Got the house party over real quickly. I'm almost surprised that the match even happened. But I wonder if there's plans for the Lucha House Party. But either way, didn't even get to tag out. They gave him the whole match.
The whole match. So, Mike Micus, we speak your name.
We do. We speak your name today, and not only that, what was I about to say about this? There was I just had a thought about this, and I can't remember what it was now.
Your brain is farting all over town.
He got to take all the finishes, though. I thought he what a special night that must have been for him last night.
I think he must be highly revered in that company. They've used him quite a bit.
Yeah.
Anytime they're in that area, that Cincinnati, Indiana area, they tend to use him. This
is the third time that he's been on TV on WWE, to my recollection. The first was the SmackDown you came down for. What he was used as a security guard for The Miz. And then just a few months ago, he was in No Way Jose's Conga Line on Raw. And then tonight, he makes his in-ring debut. What I was going to say, the thought I lost was, I don't know if you caught it or not, but Corey Graves referred to Micus as, I believe it was, quote, Cleveland. What was the exact line he used? Hold on, I sent it to Steve. Give me a second here. He did give a moniker to Micus that I wanted to acknowledge. All right. The single greatest wrestler from Cincinnati, Ohio, was what Corey Graves said about Micus.
Which is funny because isn't Dean Ambrose from Cincinnati?
Oh, did he come from Cincinnati?
Yeah, I did.
I think he might have.
He was taking a crack at Renee when he said that.
That's probably what it was. But either way, that's Micus's gimmick as far as I'm concerned, and for the time being.
The single greatest wrestler to ever come out of Cincinnati.
Good job. If you're watching this, Micus, we're proud of you. You did a great job.
Absolutely. We're cheering for you here in Pennsylvania, buddy.
What else happened last night that we need to talk about?
Becky Two Belts showed up, had the same kind of deal she's been having with Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans gave me a half bone.
Oh, you should have been here in Evansville, pal. If she only gave you a half bone, the Iconics would have given you the full bone.
Sent me right over the edge. I saw a picture of the Iconics, man. I wish I had a closer shot of those.
Yeah, it was pure joy. Pure joy.
Iconic. My Woody is iconic.
So that kind of, it seems like they really gave us the story here, and then it's just been repeating itself with the same exact thing over and over again with Lacey Evans. I'm excited, though, for her to defend both belts in one night in two different matches. Yeah, we'll see how Becky Two Belts does it. They're selling merchandise for Becky Two Belts, so I don't know. Maybe she'll keep it for a little bit longer. Speaking of two belts,
I keep forgetting that Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins are tag team champions.
Hold on, just before you go on, I just got a note from Mike. Vince changed it to 4, like I mentioned, but then also Shane and Elias showed up too, which is a very good point. There were
Moved it to 6.
Yeah, so now it's 6. It's just so weird.
Superstar Shakeup. It's a Superstar Shakeup, everybody.
Oh,
we're shaking it up.
You know, you brought up.
God, it's like playing Uno, and they're just dropping wilds on you and draw 4s.
Yeah, it's like reverse. Uno.
Skipping my turn.
So, you were talking about the tag team champions. Where were you going with that? I had something to add to this.
I keep forgetting that they're tag champs, and I wish after last night they weren't still, but it was a non-title match.
Who'd they take on again?
The Viking Raiders.
Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't pay much attention to that one, but what I did, and I'm glad I paid attention to, I like what's happening with the Usos and the Revival.
Okay, I like it too. I see a lot of people criticizing it, but I like the Usos.
What are you seeing?
I like the Usos being pranksters.
So, okay, what were people saying? And then I want a chance to retort.
That it's juvenile and it's beneath the Usos and blah 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 blah.
Beneath the Usos?
And it's like, and people thought last week's was homophobic, and so people got pretty upset about that. You know how triggered people get anymore.
I didn't even think about that.
I didn't either, but then I read it and I was like, okay, great. They're making fun of dudes in a shower, shaving each other's back, and people think they're being homophobic.
I mean, I guess if you really sit and think about it, I guess they have a point, but who cares?
I like a little homophobia in my wrestling, just like I like a little racism in my wrestling. Listen, I grew up in the 80s. I like it all. I like it all. It doesn't make me I don't like racism. I don't like homophobia. I don't like transphobia, but I like to see it in my wrestling because I like wrestling to be crazy. And I want crazy wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like kind of like that Muhammad Hassan thing. It's like, I don't like terrorism, but for a TV show to have a terroristic character or whatever, I don't think is out of place.
I'm not a fan of rape or dragons in real life. But I love Game of Thrones. Okay, like, I wish people would. They never hesitate to tell us it ain't real. You know, it's fake. But then they do something on TV and they treat it like the characters are really doing it.
Yeah, it's like, so weird.
One or the other. One or the other. Either you admit that it's scripted, or you buy in wholeheartedly and you're triggered all the time. Just get out of my life.
So I thought that the Revival. Specifically, Scott Dawson did a fantastic job last night. If I had to give him a little criticism, I thought I would have ramped up to where he got to. Like, it just kind of like, so he had the Uso hot or whatever it was.
Usi hot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I guess he applied it to whatever. And so they knew exactly when this ointment would kick in.
The more you sweat, the hotter it gets.
Right. So they're selling it like Jim Carrey in an Ace Ventura movie, or just like physical comedy out the wazoo.
Yeah, they're selling it like a ref in the Attitude Era.
And, like, I thought it was funny that, the one guy, Scott Dawson, was rubbing his butt along the floor like a dog. I just would have worked up to it. Like, I would have ramped up, like, it didn't like get warm and then hot. It was just like, oh, now we're boiling. But I thought that the whole time I was laughing at them in a wrestling kind of way.
I liked it. Now, here, I pulled this up because I thought that you would appreciate hearing this. I sometimes get my recaps from the Bleacher Report, and the person reporting on the Bleacher Report gives it an F- and says
really?
two of the most gifted tag teams of their generation engaged in a feud over homophobic back shaving and Usi hot. Let that sink in for a moment, and then ask yourself why Raw is suffering low ratings.
All right, hold on. I use CBS Sports. Let me see, and they also grade each segment. Let me see what they gave. Not that either of these are valid, and I'm happy to disagree with these guys. Let's see here. All right.
Oh, I tend to disagree with Bleacher Report all the time, but they do give a very comprehensive list of the order in which stuff happens.
Yeah.
So I just use that, but I never read their garbage.
They gave the announcement of the wild cards an F. They gave that match a C. Let me just jump to Uzi Hot. Let's see. Okay. Oh, they gave it an F. I wonder if we're off base here.
I liked it.
I did too. Like I said, it was a little much at first, but I was laughing the whole time. And I mean, I wouldn't give it I don't know if I'd give it an A, but I mean, like for a tag team storyline thing, it felt very Attitude Era. I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. Are we on?
F minus is as low as you can get. I mean, who throws a minus in on an F? That's a dick move.
I feel like this needs to be the question for today. Because I feel like the post-to-post universe is going to side with us here, but I could be wrong. I'm not saying this is comedy brilliance, guys. I'm saying on the wrestling spectrum, this was positive.
I'm okay with mixing it up a little bit. It's why my favorite part of Raw has been the past 3 weeks now, Firefly Funhouse.
And this to me, and we'll get to that because I know I want to talk about that too. Like, this is like the King throwing up after kissing his foot with Bret Hart, or, you know, it's like the doinky stuff. This to me is very old school. I bet you the Revival is probably enjoying doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and we're going to get a good match out of it at Money in the Bank, probably.
Right.
I'm okay with it.
I disagree wholeheartedly with these F grades on that particular segment.
You know why I don't give it an F is because it's telling a story, and it's told the same story for 2 weeks. They've gone 2 weeks without changing it.
Absolutely.
They change everything else. Like, I'm so sick of the lack of continuity.
Okay, here, I'm also going to throw, just to kind of muddy up the homophobic rant. Okay, so we're both heterosexual males, correct?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever shaved a girl's back, or has a girl ever shaved your back? Is that a heterosexual act?
No, I don't know. I mean, Kelly's never shaved my back, but she's trimmed my neck, and she would shave my back. You painted Easter eggs on my butt cheeks. That
was also homophobic.
That was not homophobic. That was homoerotic. That was homoerotic.
I didn't just like, hey, it's Easter, let me come over and paint your butt. I was interning, being bullied by Chris and Jim.
Latent homosexuality is different than homophobia.
So I'm just saying, I don't even know that two guys shaving each other's backs is a gay act or a homosexual act. And I've seen guys shave each other's backs, and it was Brett and my other friend Jerry, and neither one of them are gay.
I'm betting that wasn't on anybody's radar in the WWE for being gay, because those dudes have to be hairless, or a lot of them want to be hairless.
It's a reality of wrestling.
So I bet in wrestling, there are a lot of dudes shaving a lot of other dudes' backs.
I bet you literally every guy is getting his back shaved by a guy. I'll say 75% of the guys are having guys shave their backs.
Except for Corey Graves, because he's getting his back shaved by Carmella.
I don't know that Corey's even shaving his back, but okay.
And his nugs.
Let's keep going. You went to the Firefly Funhouse, and I cut you off.
I did. I'd like to say, rest in peace, Ramblin' Rabbit, 2019 to 2019.
We hardly knew ye, pal.
Oh, I liked Ramblin' Rabbit, and he's gone already. Mercy took him out.
Ramblin' Rabbit was my least favorite. I'm still a Mercy guy. I'm glad that if one of them had to survive, it was Mercy.
The puppets are starting to get a little rambunctious, and Bray's starting to lose control of the funhouse.
Dude, I'm so in. I'm so in on this.
And then they cut to picnic time with the sad kids, and I was like, this is taking a really weird turn.
Any idea on where this might be going?
I don't know. I can't wait for it to get to the ring.
The only thing I can possibly think of, and I've read nothing about this, and it seems too far stretched for wrestling to even go here, but maybe the funhouse is like Bray's head, and these are all people battling for control of Bray's personality, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I absolutely love it. And he comes in and I just like, he's like, you need to be celebrated, Mercy. Let's have a picnic. And Mercy,
It's good. I mean, you're not wrong. What?
it's just creepy.
Let's see. What did Bleacher Report give Firefly Funhouse? And I'm going to check CBS Sports.
They didn't even mention it.
Okay, mine I saw how to mention, so give me a second. B. Okay, so they seem like they're pretty in on that.
I'm in on it. It could go to an A or a D when they get it to the ring.
That's true.
It depends what they do, or get ready for Vince McMahon to say, I don't like it. It's not working, and just bring out old Bray Wyatt.
You know what, Jared? I wish you were kidding, but that's 100% a possibility.
It could happen. I'm telling you, I never wanted to be one of those fans that's blaming everything on Vince, but it sounds like everything needs to be blamed on Vince right now.
The other thing I wanted to offer as a possible explanation for why things have been so unprepared is that they have made, like, a lot of people have been leaving or fired from backstage and writing positions, and therefore a lot of people have been hired to those positions that maybe they're changing course.
Well, they just fired the lead writer for Raw last week, I saw.
Yeah, and they hired back Bruce Pritchard, and I'm not even making a joke here. They've hired Dana Warrior. Like the writing staff at Jesse James left, the Road Dogg. He left the head writer position for SmackDown.
Some dude from the Bleacher Report showed up, and he was there, but then he left.
Arn Anderson was released. Dean Malenko is gone. All in the past few weeks. So those are pretty big changes being made behind the scenes.
It's so haphazard, though.
Yes, I agree. When Russo left during the Attitude Era to go to WCW, they continued from where they left off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with you hitting a reset button. WWE Pro Wrestling doesn't have an off season. It might benefit from having one. A reset button would be good, but they hit it a bunch in the last 6 months. You can't keep hitting the reset button. You need to hit it and then reset and then go from there.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know. I will not give Raw a good grade for last night. I just won't. But watch it win the week, because it did give us some good matches. Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston was fun. There were good matches.
Okay.
Watch it win the week, because watch SmackDown be a bigger mess.
Let's do this. Let's do a lightning round and then close out the show, because we're coming back tomorrow. I want to go through the run sheet real quick. Just give you a situation and give it because I thought the show was okay. So let me pull up my run sheet here, and then we'll go. Here we go. You ready?
Okay. Yep.
So the first thing is SmackDown Superstars invade Raw. Vince McMahon announces the wild card. While it was sloppy and unprepared, and they gave it an F, it at least was exciting and important.
Yeah, I mean, I give it a C, because the part of me that loves continuity and storytelling wants to give it an F, but the part of me that loves exciting stuff and hot shotting wants to give it an A. So
right.
I'll give it a C.
Right.
Because it does one in spite of the other.
And also, real quickly, I don't think anyone saw that one coming. So there's that.
Yeah.
Let me keep going here. Next up, Seth Rollins. I'm going to go past the match. Who cares? Braun Strowman silences Sami Zayn. I know you're into the Sami Zayn stuff.
D.
Okay. I don't have much of an opinion either way. I'm less upset about it than you are. Then we got our buddy Micus.
A.
Yeah, agreed. Ricochet, Bobby Roode, nothing really there. Oh, we never talked.
That could have been an F. You take it away from Ricochet, and I'm F-bombing the whole place.
But it wasn't.
So I give it a B.
Also, I have only praise for Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio, and Dominic.
Yeah, okay. I'm okay with Dominic going away, but okay, I get it.
To try to keep this as a lightning round, we had the Becky Lynch, Lacey Evans brawl after the big Ali Katrina. We speak your name.
I'll give it a B.
Okay.
B for boner.
Then came the tag team title match. Pretty unimpactful. Then came your favorite part of the show, said you, the Firefly Funhouse, episode 3.
Hey, those have been A's.
Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns defeats Drew McIntyre via disqualification.
It's like BC. It's just nothing to write home about, and I want more from Drew McIntyre. I want more for Drew McIntyre, I should say.
We also haven't really talked about this, only briefly. Shane and Miz did a fine job, even though Shane's, all over the place.
I never, ever guessed. I would have never thought that Miz could be this over as a face. I thought that he's like a guy that needs to be heel forever, and he is doing his face run has been amazing.
We both loved the revival prank with the Usos. We both said we loved that. Lars Sullivan attacks.
I always like a monster, you know me.
Then came the main event. I'll be honest, I fell asleep during it.
Good match.
Let me also say one last thing as to why it was a better show than you're giving it credit for. Okay. One thing, especially when it comes to TV, I think a show is good when, if you missed it, you would say you missed a lot. Last night, if you missed it, you missed a lot.
You missed an awful lot.
So,
but that can be said if you just you shake it like it's a snow globe every week and see where the pieces land.
I understand. I'm not saying it was productive. I'm just saying it was a good 3 hours of television.
Like, I feel like they're playing Mad Libs in creative. They're doing Mad Libs or categories or some kind of crazy crap.
We also really want to know, are we off base? Because Jerry and I loved, and then the sites that we both get our recaps from seemed to hate. They both gave it Fs or lower. The segment with the Revival and the Usos. Maybe we're just dumb and we like watching guys walk on the carpet like they're dogs or whatever. But I thought it was fine. Jerry thought it was fine. Are they off base or are we off base? Please let us know in the comments today.
I mean, it's no giving birth to a hand, but I still like it.
Jer, please give Evan a big hug for Uncle Rob. And guys, thanks so much for watching. Please share it. I mean, Micus will probably I hope he gets a chance to watch this, but tag him in it or whatever.
Way to go, Micus. And that should be his gimmick, having a tag team, but he never tags out.
That is a pretty solid gimmick. All right, we're going to talk to you after SmackDown tomorrow here on Post to Post.